So, as you can see, I'm not the usual run-of-the-mill type foreign exchange bod in grey suits and polished shoes. In fact, believe it or not, my background is in dentistry, and I am still privileged to own 2 practices on the beautiful North Norfolk coast. So I don't know if any of you have ever visited that area of our country, but it really is a beautiful place. But I'm sure you can easily imagine looking into mails for a living is not the most scintillating business to be involved in, especially as a frustrated entrepreneur even. But ironically, dentistry was the reason for my introduction into Forex business. My story starts as I entered a few years back into importing dental appliances from the Far East, and like most, started using the default mechanism of high street banks to settle my invoices in US dollars. It wasn't, however, until I took on, in hindsight, the ridiculous undertaking of building a bar and restaurant from scratch on what was arguably could be classed as the most amazing beach in Barbados that I discovered, but also reaped the benefits of using foreign exchange brokers. Thing is, when it came to something as simple as getting a rate from the brokers, I realised that I had well and truly entered the lion's den. I soon noticed that if I wanted to make an exchange instantaneously, for example the day before, when I needed the currency, the rate would be miles off the interbank rate. And conversely, if I didn't want to exchange for a while, the rate suddenly became very inviting, but then only to be reduced back down when I finally came to make the exchange. The challenge became, how could I quickly and simply find the best deal with no hidden costs, total transparency, and guarantee a reputable broker? Each and every one of the brokers told me that they were the best. Obviously, they told me that they were the cheapest, but what was apparent was that the more I spoke to them, the more they hounded me for my business. My day-to-day life was busy, and I didn't have the time nor the energy to spend on this, let alone get into the bottom of what the deal actually was, in a fluctuating market that changes by the second. I knew there must be a way of simplifying the experience, and whilst doing so, why not find a way to make the brokers bid against each other? This would have the effect of levelling the playing field and give a true comparison of the market. And what would be the possibility of incorporating anonymity during the quote process, hence the birth of WhichFX? What was interesting was, the more I researched this market, I realised that there was nothing else out there like WhichFX. And that in fact, this immense global market has remained antiquated, has been slow to innovate and adopt technology, or to offer solutions and change behaviours. I found also the so-called FX comparison sites appear to be preloaded, rate-driven, and mostly funded by broker advertising. So, when I say immense, and actually try to put this global market size into some sort of perspective, just to give you some idea, in April of this year, $5.1 trillion were traded globally every single day. Now, to give you a visualization of exactly how much that is, if we stacked $100 bills on the pitch where Belgium and France are playing this evening, the stack would cover the whole pitch and be well over 50 feet high. $5.1 trillion every single day. Now that's what I call a marketplace. So, our business model is simple. Most things are, aren't they? A customer inputs their requirement into our platform on WhichFX.com. The brokers are alerted on their unique WhichFX trader dashboard of this requirement and have a window of 15 minutes to input their best spread. At this stage, they do not have the customer data. We keep that secure. When the final broker has bid, or 15 minutes has elapsed, whichever is the sooner, our system analyses the bids and the customer is notified by email of the result. And at the same time, the platform releases the customer's contact information to the successful broker, allowing each party to make contact with each other. Doing it in this way protects the customer from further unwanted calls and the unsuccessful unsuccessful bidders, something unfortunately that was not available to me in my best rate quests a few years ago. Now all this happens during UK broker hours and in live time. There are no preloaded algorithms, no artificial intelligence. It makes the brokers make immediate reactions that reflect the market and the opportunity for them at that particular time. The hungrier that they are for the business has the simple effect of driving down the spend for the customer. Now that can't be bad, and simply the result that we were hoping to achieve. But the benefits for the customers just don't end there. The broker agrees to hold this winning spread for 30 days. The customer-broker win-win is simply this. Our customers get the lowest spread and then can use the broker's knowledge and experience to advise them on the best time to make the transaction within the next 30 days. For example, taking into account possible rate fluctuations from up-and-coming events like the Bank of England interest rate changes or the release of employment statistics that can all have an impact on the market. There is total transparency, no hidden costs or fees. Our customers know exactly what they will be paying for their transaction wherever they decide to activate it within the 30 days, irrespective of the fluctuations in the market. And the brokers, well, they get great quality leads from serious customers at a lower cost per acquisition than they're currently paying. So where are we now? 4 years in the making, and oh so many, many rums in the sun later, WhichFX launched with a small test in November 2017 and got some great PR interest and coverage. We have already negotiated agreements with market-leading brokers that meet our strict required criteria. The criteria has been researched and embraces not only, obviously, credibility and FC approval, but our insistence to have a forward-thinking approach and attitude and to maintain the service levels currently offered. The website and trader dashboard are fully operational, and our direct advertising test campaign drove traffic and quotes successfully to our website. We were able to determine from the test that our lead numbers were higher than originally forecast, and our CPA was lower than expected, which was tremendously encouraging. In addition, which was nice, is our brokers fed back to us that the quality of our leads, even on this initial small test, was better than their normal average. Quite an achievement from a standing start and a test campaign. So, WhichFX, a new unicorn? Well, I think with that title comes a mixed message. The term was coined, pun completely intended there, in 2013 by venture capitalist Eileen Lee to describe a privately held startup company valued at over $1 billion. While the $1 billion valuation may be eluding us at present, but we certainly intend to use innovation to disrupt the current market and to make the established way of trading FX more transparent and open. We are an honest and sincere business providing a new and innovative service which we have launched in the UK, targeting initially small to medium enterprises, which are the backbone of our economy and the guys who are currently getting the raw deal. We are committed to rolling this out globally and provide a solid return to our investors. So, if you are an investor, an SME, or just want to know more, please come and see myself. I'm here with Anne, our Marketing and Operations Director, and Peter, our Financial Director, and we'd all love to hear from you and share our vision. And remember, if you glean nothing else from this evening, which I hope of course you do, just remember this: it's coming home.